Okay, this is how to replace the impeller, the little rubber water pump that's on these, basically any outboard engine. But this is a mercruser Bravo 1. A Bravo 3 has an internal, it's up on the engine, like a kind of like a car truck engine in a way. This is definitely not. These are internal. So there's a shaft that goes from here, it goes up, and it's on that shaft, it's on the housing. So you have to take off, there's a bolt on either side here, they're 5/8. You take those off. Then there's actually, before you do that, there's a drain plug here, and then on the up here there's a vent, and you take those off and drain all the gear oil out. I'm going to do that first, just so that way there's no problems, and it's a good time to change it anyway. And then this is a 5/8 box wrench, and then down under here there's 2 nuts under here. I think they're also 5/8. They're on those bolt heads. So you take the nuts off there. And then down in here you gotta have a giant hex wrench. And you take that out. And that holds this this anode on there, a little thin. And then underneath it, where that hole is, there's another hex type wrench screw that comes out of there, bolt. Then you're ready to take this off, but you have to have this in gear. See, right now it's not in gear. So we're going to put it in gear. I'm going to drop it. It should come right off. It comes straight down. And then we'll take a look at it. Okay, so here it is with the lower unit off. You don't have to take this whole thing off. You just take the bottom off. It splits in half. And when it comes out, then you got your propeller. And then this is your water pump right here, see? And it's got 4 of these bolts, and they're 7/16 socket bolts. And this is the drive shaft, and the impeller sits on that drive shaft inside this housing. Now on this one, this has gotten, I'm assuming this impeller is toast. It rubbed in here so long, it got this really hot, so long that this piece of plastic actually melted. I mean, it's supposed to go over this is a coupling kind of. It fits on there, and this is supposed to be taller, and there's a copper tube in there. It's supposed to fit up over the copper tube, so when the water's pumped, it goes up through the copper tube into the engine. Well, not only is the impeller toast, but I mean, you couldn't even push water up there because this melted. So it's going to need some surgery. I'm going to take it apart. So I've taken all the nuts off this. And the first thing you want to do is it's got this little rubber seal at the top of the shaft. You want to be careful and take that off. Just roll it. It'll come out of there, and just roll it off. And save that. And then you want to take this off. Okay, this is the pump housing. This is where the water comes up and goes into that copper. Usually it's a copper tube. This is just a guide, and it's melted, the whole top of it, because it got so hot. So we're going to replace all that. This just slides up, and then this is your impeller, this is your housing, and this is a metal kind of sleeve in there. And it matters which way these are bent. You see how that is? And as you can see, this one's roached. It's lost all its springiness, and it's all worn off on the sides. So I don't, if it was pumping any water, it wasn't doing a very good job. And this in here, the top of it's, you can see it, it's all melted and it's all gummed up in here. And I don't see how this was doing any good, but it matters which way these fins are. So you want to make sure you put the new one together the same way. And underneath this is you know, a gasket. And I'm going to replace all this because I got a kit, and if you didn't and this is still in good shape, you can still use it. It's a good idea not to ruin it, because you could always, you know, maybe you could use it later if you need to. This is the wear plate underneath of that. Okay, and see this wear plate, it's worn, it's grooved pretty good, you know, not horrible. You could probably use this one more time, but I'm not going to. I'm going to just replace it since I have the part. Then underneath that is another gasket, and both gaskets are the same on the outside, but the inside, the channels on the inside are different. So make sure you want to put, you know, want to make real sure that you, if you have it, to replace it with the right ones, you know. And probably help if you had a little screwdriver or something to pry it up carefully so you don't ruin it, because this one's still in really good shape. So I'm just going to take this off, and then we're going to replace it with all new hardware. I don't know, I guess that one's ruined. It's okay, I got a new one. Alright, so now this is a Bravo 1 outdrive on a mercruser outdrive. I've got an Alpha 1 engine, Bravo 1 outdrive, and this is an early Bravo 1. I don't know what year it is. I think it's what, at 80, 81, I think. So this is like the beginning of the mercruser outdrives as far as the Bravo 1s are concerned. Now if you look online and you try to find Bravo 1, Bravo 2, or Bravo 3 impeller for a water pump, and you type that in, what they're going to tell you will fit is going to be this. Okay? It's the wrong size shaft, first of all. And this impeller has 2, 4, 6, 8, and it's too big around, and it's too tall. This impeller is actually meant on a Bravo 2 or Bravo 3. They have a water pump on the front of the engine because of it's I don't know that it's a better design, but it is. And it's got a hose that goes down here and for the pickup, and that's the only one you need. But on the older style of the Bravo 1s, this one for sure, you have to have a different one. And this doesn't have any housing or anything. It's a big metal water pump, like on the front of a truck or something. This year and model Alpha 1 Bravo 1 has a water pump, but it's just a circulation pump, and on the inside of it there's a bronze gear fin looking thing, but it's bronze, it never wears out. So unless it's leaking, you don't have to ever replace that. You have to replace this. This is the pickup that sends the water up to it. Okay, and this is on almost identical to all outboard motors and stuff. So that's the difference. And so if you order this part, it's not going to work on this configuration. And I was really had a hard time finding one even. And when I did, like that part, just the rubber impeller, you can get like 15 bucks, 20 bucks or something. But if you want to get the whole housing and everything for this, it's like $40, maybe 50, depending on the supplier. But I was able to get this one from EMP, Engineered Marine Products, and it says it replaces MC96148Q8. Okay, and the product number on this kit is 00090, okay? You can see it here. Alright, so when you open your little box up here, alright, first of all, it's got the pickup tube, and it's got the pump impeller, and see, it looks the same, exactly the same diameter shaft and everything as this one. So that's really important that it's the right one. And it's got it's only got 6 of these wings. Alright, but it comes with that, and it comes with the new housing, see, and it comes with the new wear plate and all the gaskets, and it comes with extra ones in case, you know, it's, something in here is a little different, and it comes with a whole bunch of these, you know, rubber things, and it comes with a new rubber seal for the top of the gasket up here. Okay, so then all you have to do is figure out which goes where, and so this is the top one, I think, and then you find see, here's the one for the bottom, see. So you just want to make sure, take your old one and make sure, see, here's the old one, they're the same. So I'm going to use the new one. Okay, and it goes on, and then you just be real careful with this, and then let's see, this thing, you want to make sure you put this on right too. See, this is how it goes. I think, you know, I think the bolts are different sizes, different locations, so you really can't mess that up too much. So that's what we're going to do. Push this on down. There we go. Keep that down. Okay, there's that. And then we're going to situate it a little better. Pull this off. Careful with it. They're real, you know, it'll crack real easy. So, all right, there's that. So, yeah. Put this back on. Okay, and it should match up with the hole. See, and then the new one, same way for the top. The same thing, you want to make sure, you know, that they're the same. And they're the same this way. Right. So then you want to match that up, see, with the way this goes, so that, you know, all the holes are the same on this as the wear plate. Alright, so they're that, and then these are extra, they're for different configurations. Alright, and then the you know, big one for this is the big one. You want to take your impeller, okay, and you want to squirt it really well with a bunch of WD-40. Now, I don't know if this is recommended or whatever, but I know one thing, this rubber, it gets dried out and then it cracks and it breaks. So you don't want that to happen, and this eases it, because they're really hard when they're new to get inside here. You would be surprised. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm going to set this up the same way so that I get the bend the right way, and it's twisting clockwise if I have it. And I'm going to try real hard to shove this in here, and usually you have to have 2 people, so we might have to take a break here and try to get it in here. Alright, so we couldn't get it in there, so what we ended up doing was we put a hose clamp around it and tightened it up, and as we did, we bent them over a little bit, and that made it way easier to get this started. Okay, so now I'm just going to push down on it and take the hose clamp off. All right, and then as I try to take it off, I'm going to continue to push it down. I don't want it to pop back up out of there, because that was not an easy chore to get it in there. Should come off now. Ooh. And I got part of it down in there. Like I said, this is really not an easy thing to do, to be honest. If you know that trick, boy, it save you a lot of headaches, I'll tell you that. So you take that off. I'm just going to go ahead and push this carefully the rest of the way down in there. And get it down in there. There you go. Almost. Okay. That's pretty much it right there. And then the other thing is, this thing. Ooh. Well, now you can spray it with a little more WD-40. I'll help it move around where you want it to be, because this thing's got a grooved place on it, and it has to line up with your shaft here. And so you want it to line up correctly. So if it doesn't, then you're not going to be able to put it in the thing right. Okay. Right here on the side of the shaft, it's got a flat place, and this flat goes against it, and it's got a groove, and that groove fits in this groove on the impeller, on the inside of the metal part of the impeller. So you gotta be careful. You don't want to drop this thing somewhere. You gotta put it in there, and then you gotta slide this down over it. And if it doesn't fit, you gotta turn it, or you gotta take it off and turn the impeller until it does fit, and push it down nice and snug, and then put all the bolts back on. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, well, we got it back together. Okay, I put the pickup tube in place, and this is the junction. It's a guide, so because your copper's probably here, and you fit it in there, and then when you shove this up and you can't see, it guides it into here. And then what you want to make sure not to over tighten these. Tighten them, get them good and snug, but if you wrench down on them hard, you're going to break this plastic or cause a problem. And then you don't forget to put this rubber O-ring back on there, because it blocks water from going up into the gearing. And then while you're doing all this right here at the front is your forward reverse neutral thing. You don't want to touch that. You want to leave it in place. And before you can take this whole unit off, you have to have it in gear. And so it's still in gear. I didn't do anything. I didn't touch it. I don't want to. Because, if I get that moved at all and I put it back on, then your gear on your shift levers isn't going to work right. But anyway, that's how to replace this pump impeller housing and everything on a Bravo 1 early model. I don't know, unless somebody has taken a different lower or a different pump and put on your early model Bravo 1, it should be like this. So I would suggest, before you even order any parts or anything, you take your lower off and then you check it. So all we have to do now is reinstall this, and then make sure you put the gear oil back in it you want to put your gear oil back in it, because if you don't, you're going to burn this unit up like quick. So that's the end of that.